Yeah, good afternoon. Excited about our last, regular season game here at home in SEC play. Senior night, great night for Arthur Edwards and his family, and Retno Basahan and his family. So those guys have meant a lot to our program this year. Obviously, Retton's been here longer than Arthur, and he's been tremendous on all levels, in the community, academically, athletically. He's done a great job. Arthur's done a nice job of coming in to the Crimson Tide family this year, and boy, he's bleeding crimson now, and it's like he's never even gone to another school. So those guys have done a great job. We're also going to be honoring a manager and a student trainer. Excited about meeting their families. So, yeah, it's going to be a great night. We're playing against a hot team in Arkansas, team that's playing some really good basketball. They play fast and furious, not as fast as some of you can remember the Nolan Richardson days, but they press and get up and down the floor. They shoot the three as well as any team in the SEC, and we're going to have to play well to have a chance to win. So hopefully we'll be able to have some carryover from the energy we had in Coleman in our last home game, and we're definitely going to need it. We're going to have to play well.
Thank you, Coach. Good start. Front row, Mark.
You touched on Arthur, but what do you remember about him that made you want to recruit him here? And also, what do you remember about your early conversations with him?
You said Arthur?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just remember when we first started looking at him on video. Obviously, he didn't have stats that were going to blow anybody away, but we were trying to just look beyond the stats and see if he could be a guy that can contribute for us. And I liked his length. I liked the way he got down and played defense and, making shots. And, we've helped him improve in some other areas of his game. And when he came on his official trip, it was just a great connection with he and his mom and dad. And when he left, he wanted to take about a month to work out and enjoy, post-graduation from New Mexico at the time. And he thought about it. We kept in contact, and fortunately we were able to get him here for that second summer session. So it's been a win-win with Arthur since day one. That was in July. Yeah. Well, no, the visit happened, I guess, sometime in May or June. It was I think, the latter part of May, if I remember correctly, because we started summer school, but it was sometime in May or June. Aaron can get you the exact date.
Stay on the left side. Let's go to Alex.
I wanted to ask you about Arthur again. You said you kind of played with his game a little bit, worked on, tweaked. What kind of things were you able to accomplish to make his game
Yeah,
better?
just wanted to try to help him become an improved ball handler. Passing the basketball. And it's still a work in progress, but he's accepted the coaching. Arthur's had some great moments for us and, getting the ball to some of our big guys, and also just playing the passing lanes and doing it in a disciplined way instead of an undisciplined way. But in our last game, he got a big steal for us. I remember a steal he got at Florida. That was a huge steal for us, and a dunk on the other end. So we need those type of easy baskets, and every now and then, he can come away with a steal for us and make the offense pay for turning the ball over.
I wanted to ask you, 5 teams, I think, 8-8 right there at the kind of the middle of the pack, including these next 2 opponents. How important is it to make sure that you take care of business against teams, that you're right there with for seeding purposes, if not for any other reason?
We're not a results-driven business. We're about possessions. We have to play and win all of the games within the game. We're not a big picture team. That doesn't work for our team. We're a small picture team, details. And the main thing is, in the last couple of games, Arkansas has got off to a great start. So how can we figure out not how to be down 10-2 and, get off to a good start by taking care of the ball and executing our offense? And the results will take care of themselves. We all know where we are. We had a goal for this season in terms of our record, and we haven't reached it yet. So we got to keep going. But we got to try to win the first half. Then we got to try to win the next 4 to 10 minutes and keep going from there. I just think when we do that, we got to get better in practice today. We had another solid practice on yesterday.
Go on the right side.
Coach, sometimes defensively, when you get ready for a team, they have one 3-point shooter you kind of focus on, but Arkansas has at least two Bell and Hannahs, at least two that you really have to be aware of. How does that change what you do
Oh,
defensively?
it definitely changes because it's really difficult to guard guys, 2 3-point shooters as prolific as they are. You know, when one guy, you know, is shooting in SEC play, whatever it is, 45% and 40%, man, that's a high percentage on any level. It hurts us from trying to stretch out our defense a little bit more and extend our defense, or especially when we're trying to key on some of the other guys in the game. So, you know, you got to always be aware of those guys when they can shoot the ball as well as they can. So it's very problematic. So we're going to have to do a good job with closing out, making sure we have vision on man and ball, knowing what our individual assignments are, knowing how we want to play pick and roll situations, post up situations, or, you know, with this team, they're a passing game team. So all of those things are going to have to be synchronized. And they play a 9-man rotation. So they have some other guys like Beard and Witt that comes off the bench that can ignite them offensively also.
Stand on the right side and go to John.
You mentioned trying to get some positive momentum from the last game. How would you kind of assess your team's mindset headed into this final week of the regular season?
I think it's back to normal. We had a stretch there when there was a lot of noise out there about our team, especially after we won at LSU. And I don't know if, you know, we quite knew how to handle it. So what I'm seeing now is back to normal, high level of concentration. Guys are physical in practice. Nobody's complaining. They're just all about making sure that whatever their roles are for the team, that they're fulfilling their roles. So it's fun to see how they've been here recently in practice compared to after we came back from that LSU victory.
Go back over to Mark.
You said you had a record in mind that you wanted to reach this year. What was that record?
I'll tell you after the season. I'll tell you Saturday night.
Left side, let's go stand.
Coach, going back to the two seniors, obviously there are two seniors that have different personalities. You know, Arthur calls himself the goofy guy. Retton calls himself the more business-like guy. Is it good having two different type senior leaders like that on a young team?
Yeah, absolutely. That balance has been huge for us this year because Arthur keeps the group loose. Retton keeps them focused. Retton does a lot more talking, doing timeouts. Arthur, you know, leads by example. So, yeah, I like the way, you know, those guys offset each other's personality, and you don't have the same guy acting the same way. So, yeah, it's been neat to watch that. That's a great question.
Time for 1 or 2 more questions. Anything else from the coach?
All right, thanks.